Yes, I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman, Alfred.
I'm Batman.
I am Batman!
I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
Greetings, Bat Family, and welcome back to Holy BatCast, brought to you by Real Fans for Real Movies. Make sure you visit our website, holybatcast.com. It is your one-stop shop for all things Holy BatCast. And you can also find us all over the internet on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Just search for Holy BatCast and you will find us. And if you love the show, if you're a big fan of the show, you can also become a patron on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/holybatcast. You don't have to do it, but if you do it, we really appreciate it. And so I've got to give a little shout out to our latest patron, Mr. Josh Green. Thank you, Josh. We really do appreciate it. And Josh, it is great to have you as part of the family. So Josh Green, big thank you. And again, if you would like to become a more permanent part of our family, you can do that at patreon.com/holybatcast. We're part of the Real Fans Podcast Network. So if you want to check out all the shows that are part of the network, you can do that at rf4rm.com. As always, I'm your host, Andy DiGenova, and if you would like to follow me, you can do that on Instagram and on Twitter. It's just my name, Andy DiGenova. Now, this episode, I don't know what we're going to talk about. There's not much going on. Nothing happened, so that'll be weird. I'm just kidding. We finally have gotten our first look at Robert Pattinson as Batman. What? So yes, that happened, and here we are. Joining me for this really quick emergency, yes, almost no notice episode, it is our little favorite koala. It's Brendan Lowe. Hey, Brendan.
Good morning to you and good night to me, I guess.
Yeah, good morning. I mean, you might still hear the morning in my voice.
Yeah, it's early for you. I tell you what, this Corona has done a lot of things, but boy, it's well and truly effed our time zones once again, hasn't it?
It sure has. Yeah, because right now our time zones are very not compatible.
Nope.
It's a little sad.
We're about 13 hours apart, I think.
15.
15, is it?
15, yeah.
Oh, yuck.
I know. So, good news for Jamie, bad news for Brendan.
Yeah.
But this one was something we did right away, or we didn't even plan for. It was just like, hey, can we do this? And so, yeah, Jamie, God bless him.
Yeah, we're meant to be recording in a couple of days.
I know. Well, that's okay. Make up for the gap where there wasn't a new episode, which is fine. But yeah, this is a big enough thing that we're like, hey, let's do this. And I woke up early, and so I'm in my pajamas. My hair looks great, and I'm a little groggy, so I cannot
I'm
be
staying
held
up late,
responsible.
and I'm in my pajamas, so.
Oh, it's a pajama day. Woo, pajama podcast.
See, what we need to do is get it. We need to be in our Riddler pajamas, and then
my God, yes.
video it. But I don't know if you've got your Riddler PJs in America, or are they still in China?
They're in China.
You're going to have to burn those things now.
I know. They're in China. It's very sad. So, yeah, and it's Valentine's Day.
It is.
So happy Valentine's Day.
It only makes sense that it's just you and I.
I know. It's true. It's our special day.
I mean, I'm spending my Valentine's night with you because Jess has been away performing. I've been flying solo.
Oh, nice. When Jess is away, we shall play.
You're my Valentine's date.
Happy Valentine's Day, big boy.
I am sitting in a dark room with candlelight.
Oh, good.
I'm doing it right.
As well you should. Well, when we're done, have a nice bubble bath, turn on some Michael Bolton.
I was going to say we'll flick it over. We'll flick it over to the webcams.
Oh wow! Great! I love this plan.
I'm excited to be a part of it.
I'm excited to be part of it. Let's do it. All right. Well, before we get to the big news, there's one other little tidbit that came out yesterday that is worth mentioning, and that is it's comic based. and that we are getting a return to a comic book, return to Batman the Animated Series. So it is going to be called Batman The Adventures Continue. And it is going to be co-written by Paul Dini and Alan Burnett and illustrated by Ty Templeton. And here is what DC says. It says, from the visionary team behind Batman the Animated Series comes all new stories set in the seminal animated world. Batman The Adventures Continue, DC's new digital-first 6-issue miniseries, launching in print on May 6th of 2020, is co-written by Paul Dini and Alan Burnett, both producers of the original series, and illustrated by Ty Templeton, who brought the world of Batman the Animated Series to comic books since 1992's Batman Adventures #1.
Even just hearing you read that brings a big smile to my face, hey?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure long-time listeners of this show will know that the Batman Adventures are, to this day, still my favorite run of comics of all time.
Yes.
I absolutely adore them.
I did know that about you.
So this makes me very happy.
So a couple quotes here. This is from Paul Dini. He says, fans familiar with Batman of the new Batman Superman Adventures will be right up to speed. Alan and I approached the writing with the idea that we were doing the season you might have seen if we had not put the series aside to do Batman Beyond. Oh, okay.
So they're righting a wrong there is what they're saying.
Yeah. And Ty Templeton says, Tim Drake is still a very young Robin. Batman isn't middle-aged or anything, and we're not even close to the events of Batman Beyond. And then Alan Burnett says, what is different, however, is that we're going back to cover certain gaps in the original series, events that didn't have a bearing on the series at the time, but now do. In other words, there will be secret histories that will turn Batman's world upside down, things that no one knew were out there until now. He continued, perhaps the most intriguing character in the run will be a young man whose story threads through most of the issues. He's a smart, super elusive loner who knows way too much about the Dark Knight. How this mystery man fits into the world of Batman Adventures and what he means to accomplish should, I hope, be a real jolt for old fans.
Oh.
And people think that very well means a Red Hood, Jason Todd story. Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right. So, this one again hit shelves on May 6th of 2020, and digital first will be released in April. And so we got some teases of the artwork, including two really awesome some awesome covers. And the one of Batman, Robin, Batgirl, and Nightwing is pretty badass. And there's another one of Batman solo on a rooftop, which you can never go wrong with.
They're just gorgeous. I can't wait. Like, I don't often get super excited for comic news, but it was like that announced a new movie. I was just so happy when I saw this early this morning. It was amazing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm super psyched for it too. And then they teased a couple pages, including an appearance by Lex Luthor.
And I mean, you'd think that and a new James Bond theme would be enough for me today.
You would think. But you'd be wrong.
I'm happy to be wrong on this occasion.
So, no, this is awesome. This is great news. I'm psyched for it. And then I'll also say the cover that has Batman on the rooftop against the moon. The building he is standing on has black and white, not profiles, but just faces of all the different villains, the Rogues Gallery, which is really awesome too. Mm. I'm trying to figure out, there's one on there that it almost looks like Phantasm, but I don't think it is. So I'm trying to figure out what the heck that face is.
I don't know if I've actually seen that one. I've seen the one with all of them, but...
The one with all of them is obviously my favorite because I just love the four of them. But this one's pretty rad too. And yeah, on the building, it's like, I see Poison Ivy, Catwoman, Mr. Freeze, Joker, Two-Face, Deathstroke, Riddler, Harley, Killer Croc. But then there's a face that... It's like a shrouded face, and it almost looks like the Phantasm, but it's not. So I don't know what that is.
Oh, yeah, the image you're talking about, I've only one I've seen is cropped. I haven't seen the full version of that.
Ah, okay.
I have to do some digging.
Yeah, but anyway, super cool news, exciting, and hopefully it will be very successful and we'll continue to get more of this. It's like, yeah, like a lost book of the Bible.
Oh, yeah, bring it on. Bring on April. I'm so glad I have Comixology.
Sweet. Well, that's exciting. April's just around the corner, so this is something that came out kind of out of nowhere, and it's almost here already, which is great.
Yeah, it's not far away.
So then last night, at least it was last night here in the States, so morning for you, we got another little something something.
Little surprise.
Little surprise. Didn't expect this. So it was funny because I was like getting ready to go see Sonic the Hedgehog with our pal Hunter. And I was just like I had like 15 minutes to kill before we went. And I was just scrolling. And in the Real Fans group, someone, I want to say it was Daniel Adams, posted, and he said, "It's your new Batman." But it was like a link to Twitter without an actual, without an actual photo or anything, because it was the link to Twitter, because then the Twitter had a link to Vimeo.
Yes.
So because you were 2 links deep, you couldn't actually see anything. And I was like, so all I saw him say was, "It's your new Batman." And then it was a tweet that he linked to from Matt Reeves. And I was like, wait, I didn't get a notification that Matt Reeves tweeted anything. And I think it's because I like recently updated Twitter and for whatever reason, my notifications for Matt Reeves got turned off, or maybe I turned them off.
Okay.
I don't know. So I immediately went to Twitter and I was like, wait, what? And sure enough, yes, it was a Vimeo link. And this Vimeo link is it's about just shy of 1 minute. And it says camera test, and it includes music. And then out of the darkness, bathed in red light, we get our first somewhat obscured view of Robert Pattinson as Batman. So where to start? Is there anything you want to say before we start? I don't know where to go.
Yeah, it was very unexpected. And like I said to you just before we started recording, I was about half an hour late to the party. Because I was at work. It was around, I think it would have dropped probably around 9:30 in the morning my time. And all I knew was that the new Bond theme was dropping at 10 my time. So I hadn't really looked at my phone. I was listening to like a podcast and everything through my podcast app, but I wasn't touching my phone. I was just working away on the computer at work. And it was, about 2 or 3 past 10. And I was on my morning break and I sort of looked at my phone to bring up Spotify to listen to the Bond theme. And I saw that you'd posted in Real Fans. That came up as a notification. So I just clicked on that. And I was like, wait, what? Or it might have been Twitter, one of the two. And it was like one of the red screenshots. And I was like, what? And then it sort of clicked. I'm like, oh, holy shit. So I'm like, like speeding like the Flash trying to get through Twitter to find the actual link. And I watched the video and was just like, oh my God. And then I went and listened to the new Bond theme straight away. So it was kind of major, because people know I'm a Batman and Bond fan. It was a major like overload moment. I didn't know what to post first, what I was more excited about, although the Bond theme I don't really like, but that's a different story for a different podcast. But yeah, it just all happened all at once, and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like my 2 favorite franchises have just done 2 massive releases within an hour of each other. It was pretty insane.
Wow. Were you just going back and forth and back and forth?
As much as I could while being at work. But it's funny, like this is something I did want to sort of talk to you about, and I don't know how you feel about this, but the announcement that Pattinson was taking over the role, I didn't find to be such a big deal as when they announced Affleck, in terms of kind of how the internet reacted, but also my personal reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel this is the same. Like I'm really excited for it. and I'm really excited with the footage, with the reveal that we got. But I don't feel that it hasn't struck me as such a big deal as the reveal of Affleck in the suit did, which is coming up to being 6 years ago, if you can believe that. It's 2014.
Wow,
That was in May 2014. It's now February 2020. And I don't know, it's weird. Like, I know Affleck is completely done. And it was 6 years ago since we got the reveal and 7 years ago that he was announced. But that still feels really recent to me. And this is just kind of like,
yeah, the fact that we're
cool.
already starting the whole process of a new Batman again.
I know
it does feel like it's not that. Yeah, it's not that long ago.
No, so but when I look back to the Affleck thing too, it's like, well, he was only announced a year after Rises came out, so like there was less time between the Affleck announcement and the suit reveal than there was, the Pattinson one compared to when Justice League came out, because it's nearly it's 2 and a bit years ago now. But yeah, it's just a weird feeling. Like, I don't feel, this is no slight towards the reveal or the movie or anything. It just feels different. And I don't know if it's because we do have all these DC movies now. Like, we've got our Wonder Woman and our Shazam and our Aquaman and Suicide Squad and Harley and all that sort of stuff. Like, I've got more DC content now, whereas back then we had Dark Knight trilogy, we'd had Man of Steel, and all of a sudden we were just promised this world. And
right.
maybe it's because of the way that world and that plan has panned out that it's just kind of, okay, cool, here's the next one. If that makes sense.
No, I mean, it does, because you're right. Like, it wasn't a long gap between The Dark Knight Rises and Ben Affleck, but you're right, there was a gap in just DC movies because they were constructing this new universe. And so it was just, we got Rises in 2012 and we got Man of Steel in 2013, and then we had a 3-year gap before we finally got Batman versus Superman, and there was no DC in that gap. So you're right. There was a lot more, I think, anticipation because there wasn't much else to keep us distracted.
Maybe too, it's because it was 10 years between the unveil of the Christian Bale Batman.
Yeah.
In Begins to when we got the unveil of the next guy, whereas this time around it's only 6 years, and maybe that's part of it too. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
No, I get that. Like, you're right, and the more commonplace it becomes, or the more frequent it becomes, the less of an event it can be. I still felt like last night felt like an event, though, because I saw it freaking everywhere, and everybody had to share their opinion. So it's not like, this went unnoticed. But you're right, I do think it was a different...
I do wonder, too, now that we're talking about it, this is something that hadn't occurred to me, is, with the reveal of the Affleck suit, that happened at, 2:00 in the morning here, and I just happened, I don't know, it must have been my sixth sense, I just happened to stir around the time it happened and checked my phone and lost my shit, and I didn't have to work the next day. So I then spent the next hour or two on Facebook and Twitter just immersing myself in the reaction. And it was the same when Affleck was announced. I wasn't at work. It broke the internet. I was at home. Steve and I actually recorded within an hour and a half of the announcement because we'd already planned to record anyway. This is on our old show. But again, I wasn't at work. Whereas with the announcement of Pattinson and this suit reveal today, both times I've been at work. So it's kind of been, oh, shit, I've had maybe 5 minutes to get excited and have a look at it. Then I just have to put it to the side and not focus on it for the next couple of hours.
Right. I mean,
that's probably a big part of it too.
That makes a lot of sense too. Yeah. I mean, when I remember when they revealed the Affleck suit, I was also at work, but we just didn't do any work that day. We just got really excited, and we were lucky enough just in our schedules that we were able to just enjoy that. But yeah, here, it was it happened last night, and then immediately it was oh, I gotta go to the movies, and then gotta go to bed. And so yeah, it was just, there wasn't like you said, you didn't have as much time because of work. I didn't have time because it was, pretty late in the evening here.
You already had plans, yeah.
Yeah, I already had plans. Matt Reeves didn't tell me don't make plans for Thursday night. Got something going on. You might want to keep your schedule free.
I can't say what it is, but
Yeah. Come on, Matt. Give me the heads up. But, so yeah. All right. Well, it's a 1-minute video. Just shy. It does start in the dark. And that was why, again, I was like, well, it's too early for April 1st. So even when it started and the music started, I was like, is this really what it's supposed to be? Is this really the reveal? And then, yeah, from the shadows, you sort of see the figure of Batman walk up towards the camera. And then you get to see his chest, and then the camera moves up from his chest to his head. And so you really just kind of see the chest, the shoulders, bits of the cape, and then most of his face up until his forehead. You don't see the ears. And then he just sort of looking down and then looks more up, and that's it. But yeah. And again, it's all bathed in a red light. It is somewhat obscured. It is pretty dark, so of course the internet immediately lightened it up so we could look closer at a lot of the details and things like that. And so yeah, now is the moment of truth. What are your first impressions of this Batsuit? With saying fully that we haven't gotten the full reveal yet.
no.
We've been teased. And it's been almost revealed. We've certainly gotten elements, but I would not call this the full reveal.
No, it's very much the definition of a teaser. Look, based on what we've seen, which isn't much, I like it. I don't love it yet. But I'm very intrigued with what we've got. I can't really judge it too harshly or anything because we haven't seen a lot. I do. It feels to me kind of like a mishmash of versions of the suit that we kind of already know. Like, I mean, there's obviously the comparisons to like your Arkham suits with the way it's, your metal plates, and in the footage you can see very much that the plates sort of seem to move, or particularly the shoulders, connecting to the chest, like they move independently of each other, which is kind of cool. The first thing that struck me, which I'm probably sure was the same with you, was the logo, or the bat symbol on the chest. Obviously, the first thing I thought of was Detective 27. It's that very. It's the original bat symbol from the first appearance of Batman in the comics, which is kind of cool. The next thing that I sort of noticed was the collar on the cape, which is a little bit, I guess, Gotham by Gaslight sort of thing. And then the cowl with the... It's funny, when I first saw it, and this was very briefly, like I said, at work and on my phone, I thought it reminded me of the 66 cowl because it looks kind of a similar shape and it looked like it had an eyebrow on it. But it was just a reflection of the light. I didn't even notice the first time around that you could see his eyes. His jaw is very...
You can barely see his eyes. It's so dark.
Barely.
Yeah.
The jaw is very pronounced. I'm very keen to see what the ears look like and the length of the ears. Because if they want to continue the theme of like that first Batman, Detective 27 look, he's gonna have some long ears. But yeah, there's not much else you can go on. I mean, and then obviously seeing all the photos that have been lightened up and doctored and everything, as the time passed, you get to see a little bit more. I'm sure we'll talk about it in depth after you've given your impressions, but what it appears the bat on the chest is made out of, I find very intriguing. And the more you look at it, the more it does appear to be that it is made of guns or a gun. And and if the fan theories are correct about what gun that could be, I'd be really happy with that. That'd be something different and kind of badass.
Yeah, it's funny because I mean, I guess we can address that now. Is that yeah, like a lot of people have looked at the symbol and said that yeah, it looks like it's constructed from a gun or parts of a gun, and I do see that. But what's funny is that people are now reporting that as a fact.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that from websites. It's like, oh, Batman's logo made of Joe Chill's gun. And I'm like, guys, we don't even know if that really is gun parts. It could just be metal. But because of the speculation, people are now reporting it as fact. And I'm like, oh, why don't we wait until it's confirmed? I do think it's an interesting idea, and I think that it's certainly possible. So if we were on Mythbusters, I would stamp this plausible, but I would not stamp it confirmed yet.
Oh, God, no. No, it's not hashtag confirmed.
It is not hashtag confirmed. It is hashtag plausible. So the suit itself and what we've seen of it, I don't like it.
Okay.
This is the first thing I am seeing from the Matt Reeves Batman. I mean, not that we have seen a lot, but all the news and the casting and everything that we have heard. This is the first thing that I have seen that I went, oh no.
Do you think it's because we've just had the perfect Batsuit?
I mean, I think that's part of it, but I
also...
also...
It's definitely part of my thoughts on it is it's like, ooh, but yeah, we need to see more.
Exactly. And that's, I mean, and I agree with you on that. And a lot of people, I've seen a lot of the fans, especially the ones that I respect, who, even if they don't like it, they're like, well, I'll see more. I'll see it in motion. We'll see what it looks like. But so I'm not rushing to judgment of like, oh no, they blew it. But for a reveal of a new Batman, I want to be going, oh my God, they nailed it. Mm-hmm. And instead, I'm going, oh God, I hope it works.
Yep. That's understandable.
I don't love it. Like, and as soon as I saw that bat symbol, which is the first thing you see, as soon as I saw that, I was like, wait, what? And it wasn't the shape of it so much, because yes, like as you pointed out, it's very similar to the original bat symbol from 1939. It wasn't the shape; it was that it was so metallic and segmented and crude looking. Mm-hmm. That was what made me go, oh wait, what? And then as we saw a little bit more of the suit, the whole suit felt that way. The whole suit felt clunky. It was more armor again, which, I feel like a lot of us were ready to move on from. The large shoulder pads, I think, were a little weird. The collar is a little weird. And so instead of like fist pumping and being like, yes, oh my God, he's finally, he's doing it, I just was like, oh man, like it's another clunky armor Batman. And I didn't want that. And I'm disappointed that it looks like we're getting that. So, and then it immediately leads me and a lot of the fans to go, oh, well, maybe it's not the only suit. Maybe it's just his first suit. And we're justifying it. And I don't want to have to justify my first look at Batman. I want to just go, oh, hell yeah, it's awesome. Mm. But instead I'm going, well, God, I hope this isn't it. I hope that he upgrades the suit.
It's a very different look to what we're used to.
And then looking at like the lightened up versions that have hit the internet since then, it does very much look like a prototype. It looks like it was something that was cobbled together. It is messier, it is chunkier, and so I would not be surprised if it was a prototype, but still, Matt Reeves chose to share this. Mm-hmm. Which means it's got to be the suit for at least most of the movie.
You would think so.
Because unless he's just messing with us. But like, if you wanted this to be your big splash, you'd probably share the real, the primary suit, which means this is probably it, and that concerns me because I'm not liking the way it looks.
Do you think they should have done a proper reveal?
I mean, yes, it would have helped because maybe we would feel better, or those of us who aren't liking it, we might feel better about it if we got the proper reveal and got a real look at it, and then maybe we'd be a little happier with it. But no, if the suit was already awesome, I think this tease would have been fine.
Right.
Again, just as it is, I'm just, instead of being excited, I'm just like, oh God, I hope it looks better when we see more of it.
Yeah. Well, it sucks that you're not, loving it or really excited for it. I mean, I can't even say I'm on the fence with it. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I'm okay with it. I just need to see more at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Before making a final judgment.
Right. Yep. I mean, and again, hopefully when we do see more, it'll get me a little more excited. But it is funny though, because it makes it clear that like all those rumors we heard about getting a more comic booky Batman, the blue and the gray, it was all bullshit. It was all people making shit up to get traffic on the internet, because this is nothing like that.
I never bought, not the blue and the grey anyway. I don't know. I just kind of always in the back of my head, I'm like, it's probably going to be black and grey or just black.
No. Oh, and I said that when we discussed it on the show. I was like, listen, I know the blue and the grey is a pipe dream. I don't dare expect that. But it was a rumor that was going around. And even then I was like, I'm taking this with a huge grain of salt, but it got a lot of traction and people were reacting to it as if it had been confirmed.
A lot of that going around on the internet.
But that's what freaking happens. It's the game of telephone. Is someone goes, "Oh man, I wish that they would finally do a blue and gray bat suit." And then someone else said, yeah, that would be cool if they do a blue and gray bat suit. And then someone else said, they should do a blue and gray bat suit. And then someone goes, you know what? Matt Reeves, you should do a blue and gray bat suit. And then someone else goes, wait, Matt Reeves is going to do a blue and gray bat suit? And then someone finally goes, rumor, blue and gray bat suit.
Yeah.
And that's how it happens. And then all of these podcasts, including this one, we go, hey, here's what we think of if they do a blue and gray bat suit. And Matt Reeves is like, I haven't said shit, guys.
Yeah.
And then we get this chunky thing.
Mm.
And it's not, I guess kind of from the neck down, it like after the initial, oh, that's weird of the symbol, I kind of dig it because it is weird and industrial. And from the neck down, I sort of appreciate, again, it's not my aesthetic, but I get sort of the Arkham armor aesthetic. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's not so bad. But the collar, again, just feels strangely disjointed. And even the way the cowl seems to sit on his face, it seems, it doesn't seem to fit on his face in a very clean or elegant way.
It does look a bit helmety.
Yeah. And it's weird, even his nose and stuff. And again, the lightened up, you see some stitching on that. And I'm like, that's what leads you to believe that, oh, this is his first bat suit, which fine, cool. But yeah, I just wish I wasn't going into this going, I hope he only wears it at the very beginning. I hope he upgrades soon,
Don't worry. I'm sure that there's a Sona suit somewhere in the Batcave that he can put on to fight the Riddler at the end of the movie.
Thank God. It's what we all want. I want my Arctic Blast Batman. And we finally get that. So yeah, but I will say this, I don't want to be the negative one. It's just, I also can't lie and pretend that I'm over the moon when I'm not. But I will say I think he looks great.
Mm-hmm.
He certainly got the chin and the profile for the cowl. So I think he looks really good. And my favorite thing is the music.
I was going to say we need to talk about the music. I'm surprised you hadn't mentioned it yet. Just before we jump into the music, I was going to say my favorite shot in the video is sort of early on where you can kind of just see the silhouette. I was going to say the suit does cut a nice silhouette.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I mean, I guess sort of like as he's walking towards the camera.
yeah, right at the start, like when you can sort of make out the shape, and then just forward a fraction when it is kind of just that nice silhouette of a bat suit, like that shape. It's like it does look nice there. But yeah, we'll say it again. We need to see more.
Yeah. Yeah, and where I'm at is like I just kind of hope that like when you take a few steps back, see more of the silhouette, including the ears, and that it all just comes together a little bit better. That's my hope.
I think
right
a lot.
Now, I feel
a
like
lot
we're
is
just
hinting
seeing
on the ears.
parts.
I think.
Yeah, I feel like we're just seeing parts, and and right now it doesn't feel like it's all working together in a cohesive way. So I'm hoping that once we get the whole thing, it'll all come together for me.
Yeah.
But as soon as I did hear that music, I went, "Oh wow, this is cool. This is really good. This sounds like Batman." And I immediately assumed, "Oh wow, like it's already Giacchino's score." And then that was confirmed on Twitter by both Matt Reeves and Michael Giacchino. So they confirmed that that is his music. So in the past, we had gotten bonus reveals with the first look of Batman. Usually it was Batman in the Batmobile. Here, our bonus for this reveal is Batman and a taste of what his music is going to be like in the new film. And I will say the music is amazing. I love it. It sounds like Batman. It sounds dark and mysterious. It feels like it's from the same family as previous Bat themes, but it still has very much a sound all its own. I love it. I think it's great. I can't wait to hear more. It's only 56 seconds, but I already downloaded it. I want more of that, please. So yeah, I love what I'm hearing of this music so far.
Let me ask a question, because this is something that I thought of kind of immediately, because you're more of a score guy and you kind of know a little bit more about, how the sausage is made. This movie's only been shooting for a couple of weeks. Is it early to get a taste of the score?
Yes, it's very early.
I thought so.
So usually the way it happens is the director and the composer will talk during shooting, and the composer will at least start noodling on some of the big themes, because he and the director have to have those creative conversations. So I don't think it's abnormal at this point in production to go, hey, let's start figuring out what the sound of Batman's going to be. But they don't actually score the movie until they have a cut of the movie, because the score
exactly.
The score has to be written to the footage. So it sounds like that's probably all they did, is they've started to just start to play with some of the themes. And then once, they actually have a cut, Giacchino can do the actual full scoring of the film. But so really, it really is just a nice bonus to share with us. And if you listen to the quality of the music in this, it sounds like a temp track. It doesn't sound like the fully completed orchestral version.
An orchestra thing, yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's done on a computer, or I don't know how they do it, like computer or synths or something.
Exactly. So yeah, it sounds like a temp track, but I love that they went ahead and gave that to us, of going, you know what, we've got some of the theme written. Let's just go ahead and share it, and it certainly adds to the teaser. And without that music, I think I'd be even more negative, because the music made me go, oh hell yeah, like that's great. You're nailing it. Because I mean, it's always tough to fill the shoes of writing a new Batman theme, especially now that we've had quite a few, and this one gets me immediately excited.
Do you think, because I mean, in movies like this, each character will probably have a music cue. Do you think in the coming weeks, months, whatever, we might get a similar video, say, with a purple shade that, will have a taste of potentially like a Catwoman, soundbite, and a green tinge with a Riddler or something like that? Do you think that's something that Matt Reeves may do or could do, or
I'm not holding out hope for that. It certainly would be awesome and would be a hell of a nice treat, but I'm not expecting it.
Just because I'm like, this was like camera test footage, so that have to be test footage for the other characters.
Yeah.
And he was pretty consistent in the way he announced the character, like the cast on Twitter. So I'm just wondering if that consistency might run through again, where okay, well, this is our first little taste and reveal of what this character is going to look like. Cut to 6 weeks time or whatever. Here's the same thing for Catwoman or Riddler. Like, I was just curious what you'd think.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be great. I would love it. I'm not going to be presumptuous enough to expect it, because I've already seen people do that, and I'm like, you know what? As soon as you expect that, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. So
True.
let's not assume that's going to happen, as much as we would all love it, because that would be a great way to, reveal these characters, stay in the conversation is to do these reveals. But again, it would be great. I just am not expecting it.
Do you think this is looking way into the future, and this is, again, it's all assumptions, and I'm just more sort of spitballing with you, but would you expect to see a first teaser at San Diego, or do you think that'll be more towards the end of the year like Wonder Woman was?
I would. I mean, if they come to Comic-Con this year, because they haven't said.
Mm-hmm.
But if they go to Comic-Con this year, I would expect some sort of footage or tease to be shared. I don't know if it will be publicly shared, but I would expect them, yes, if they're at Comic-Con, they're going to show something.
Because that's all, if they do that, that's all, like, it doesn't matter who else shows up with any kind of footage, like, that is going to quote-unquote win Comic-Con.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think it would be a smart move.
Splash.
Totally.
Particularly after skipping it last year.
Yeah. Agreed. So yeah, no, I think that, yeah, if Warner Brothers is there, they would have to share something for the Batman. The way BVS did, even though it was in the middle of production, the way Aquaman did, even though it was in the middle of production, I feel like this would be something similar.
It's so funny that BVS had like 3 Comic-Cons. Like they had, the announcement, then the next year with that teaser footage that wasn't released publicly but everybody saw, and the reveal of what Wonder Woman looked like, and then you had the following year with like the first full trailer, and it's crazy. I had 3 Comic-Cons.
That's true. I mean, the announcement one was like, it was just an announcement, but yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm still excited for the movie, although, kind of, I feel like the hopes that I had of like, oh, we're going to finally get the comics Batman on the big screen, those hopes, I think, have certainly been suppressed for now. What I'm afraid of looking at this is that we're getting another take, we're not getting just Batman in all his glory off the page and on the screen. We're getting another take on Batman, which isn't bad, but for me, a little disappointing.
Yeah. I think that comic book, finally getting that comic book, version of the character, I think a lot of that's going to come down to story. Taking the aesthetic away for a moment, I think the story hinges on that a lot as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you see Jeffrey Wright's tweet today?
No.
So I'm just going to bring it up because I think it was just him sharing the Matt Reeves story, but he posted a photo with it. I don't know if it's just a stock photo or if it's one from the set, but he posted what looked like a bat signal.
Interesting.
Where is it? Because he tweets quite a bit. Maybe I made a mistake. No, I'm sure I saw it on Twitter. Unless it was a dodgy account.
I'm pulling up Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it now. But it did look like he retweeted the tweet, but it's not there now. But it had like a photo of like a big spotlight. No, I'm not seeing it. I only saw it a couple of hours ago.
Weird. Oh, here it is. I see it. 13 hours ago.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it looks just like a spotlight.
Yeah, but I thought that was a nice little touch.
Yeah, that's cute. So the other thing I'll say is there's been there was speculation about the bat symbol being made of a gun, which we've already addressed, but then there's also speculation of the fact that it is actually functional and pops out of his chest to become a batarang. So I would put that in the same category as the gun theory, which is it is plausible. It is possible that both things are true. It is possible that only one of them is true, and it's possible that neither of them are true. It could be that he just wants this very machine-looking metallic bat symbol that looks less like a symbol and more like, something functional almost. So I thought I should address that real quick too, because I've seen people be like, oh, and he can pop it out and throw it, and it's like, he might.
I mean, they clearly watch Titans.
Yeah, I mean, if the Titans can do it, why not Batman? So that was just another, obviously, observation around what that symbol could be.
I mean, the one thing that can't be said about it is it's not something we've seen before. I mean, like every bat suit. I mean, even in the original 4 movies, they were each unique in their own way. Same with the Dark Knight stuff. Affleck's suit was very different. This isn't, it's unlike anything we've seen before in live action. So it is, and I think no matter how they went about it, it was always going to be hard to follow what we've had with Affleck in terms of how comics accurate that suit was.
Yeah, I mean, it is true. It's always a tough thing to do, especially because people have very different opinions on what they want to see. So you can't please everybody, and so yeah, you're right. It's always tough to, especially again to follow up Affleck's suit. But
and these things too take a bit of time. Sort of, your brain kind of needs to adjust. Sounds.
Yeah, I mean, that happened to me with the Affleck Batmobile and Batwing. Is when I first saw them, I just kind of was like, huh. And then I really grew to love them both. So, yes, same thing. Is like, I didn't expect it to be this different. I didn't expect it to be this off the beaten path. And so, yeah, it's taken a little adjusting to go, okay, if that's it, let's see. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you have it. New reveal of the bat suit. Everybody's talking about it, but I also think that reactions are all over the damn place. Like, I see people who love it, they think it's perfect. I see people who hate it and think it's terrible, and then everything in between, which I guess is par for the course.
Yeah.
And I'm, mark me down as in between. Is like, yeah, I don't immediately love it, but I'm certainly, holding out final judgment because I want to see more. And that was what I tweeted when it came out. Is I didn't say I love it. I didn't say I hate it. I just said, show me more, because that's where I'm at right now. Show me more. I want to love it. Please let me love it. Show me more.
Yeah.
It's Valentine's Day. Let me love you. Just let me love you.
Was that Mario who sang that song? I think.
I don't know.
It's like from the early 2000s. It was like an R&B hit called "Let Me Love You."
Okay. I don't know that. Oh, well, interesting. The important thing is we got a jam. We got a 56-second Batman jam to tide us over for a little while. So that is exciting. And we'll see what happens next. Like, does this mean they're going to start shooting outside? Are we going to get more of a look at it sooner than later because of this?
That's something I hadn't thought of, actually.
Is it, or are we about to hit another dry spell and we're not going to get anything till the summer in Comic-Con? We'll see.
Time will tell.
Indeed. But still, exciting times. The movie is deep in production, and that is exciting, and I can't wait to see more.
Bring it.
Bring it. All right. Well, because we did throw this episode together, and I worried that it was going to be a 10-minute episode, but we're somehow 49 minutes in. So
shit.
Impressive. Well done, us. Let's answer just a couple emails because there were a bunch last time because of my little hiatus. So it'll make the next episode that much easier if we get a couple done now. How about that?
Yeah, I'm easy.
All right. I've heard that, especially on Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well then, let's do that. Let's crack open the Wayne Manor mailbox. It's time again for the Wayne Manor mailbox.
You've got mail.
Darren, what is a letter for me?
Maybe temporary.
She wrote a letter.
You're one hell of a messenger. This is all, Master Wayne.
All right, this first email here is from Grant Ingram. It says, "Dear Andy, Brendan, and fingers crossed, Jamie." Jamie is not home right now, but if you leave a message, he'll get right back to you. It says, "The Batman has finally started filming. Yay, I'm super excited. However, the news was slightly dampened by the announcement of Kevin Smith's Howard the Duck being canceled. Before you laugh, I am ducking serious. I was wondering if you all had any thoughts on this. Do you think we could potentially see a Disney Plus show or a good Howard movie in the near future? Howard is second to Batman in my fandom, but it's close. I know this is a Batman show, but I'll qualify this email with a Batman question. Do you think that we could see a Joker cameo in the upcoming movie, and do you think it could be Joaquin? Sorry for the long-winded message, Grant Ingram." Thank you, Grant. You say you're serious, but I still can't tell. But here's the thing, is I sort of missed the news that there was going to be a Howard the Duck from Kevin Smith anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'd heard about it, but I didn't really care because it's not something I care about, so I never, read into it at all. But I know he was working on a series and then it got canned before it sort of went anywhere.
Ah, interesting. So, it was something that wasn't on my radar at all. But I could see them doing like a Howard the Duck animated series for Disney Plus, something like that.
Mm.
You know, almost like Harley Quinn on DC Universe.
Wouldn't be as R-rated, not on Disney Plus.
Not R-rated version, but some sort of like irreverent, silly, goofy animated series, and they could do that with Howard the Duck on Disney Plus. And then a Joker cameo in the film, and Joaquin. It will not be Joaquin.
Nope.
But a Joker cameo, I wouldn't expect a cameo, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was a nod or a tease.
Mm-hmm. That would be smart, particularly if it's an established Batman in Gotham.
Yeah. All right. Next message is from Batman Hush. Oh, okay. It says, "Hey, Andy, Jamie, Brendan, I was wondering, can you do an episode ranking your top 5 live-action Batman movies before the Batman comes out? It's been a while since you've done a ranking on Holy BatCast, and I love those episodes. Also, this year is Batman Beyond Return of the Joker's 20th anniversary. I know that you've already done an episode, but I was wondering where it would rank amongst the DCAU movies. As always, keep up the great work. Holy BatCast has been my favorite podcast ever since I discovered it 4 years ago." Well, thank you, Hush. Dr. Thomas Elliott, thank you. So a ranking of our top 5 live-action Batman movies before the Batman, I think that's a great idea. People love that stuff. So, yeah, I'm totally into that. Yeah, and that's a pretty low homework one, which we always love.
Yes.
And then where would you rank Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, Brendan?
Oh, I don't know. If we're just talking the, Master of the Phantasm, those kind of movies, I mean, this won't surprise anyone, but it'd be towards the bottom of that list. I'd put the Batman Superman movie above it. I'd definitely put Sub-Zero above it. I'd put Mystery of the Batwoman above it, and obviously Phantasm's above all of them, so it'd be kind of low on my...
I kind of agree, except I think I would put it above Mystery of the Batwoman, even though I really liked Mystery of the Batwoman. I'd probably put Return of the Joker ahead of that, but you're right, I don't think I could put it ahead of Mask of the Phantasm or the Batman Superman movie or even Sub-Zero.
Because they were really good.
Yeah, and that's just more because of how much I love those and less about not liking this, because I think Return of the Joker is good too.
You know how it's the 20th anniversary of that movie? Something I thought of the other day that I totally forgot to message you about. Do you know what else it's the 20th anniversary of this year finally? And it's something we've been teasing about doing in Real Fans.
What?
Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas, baby.
Oh my God. So you're right. Last week, because I've been in the States and staying in hotels and whatnot, and last week Catherine and I were being lazy in the hotel. And it was one of those mornings where we're like, we just didn't want to get up. We didn't have any reason to really get up, so we were just being lazy. And I was flipping the channels, and guess what was on? But the Flintstones and Viva Rock Vegas.
Nice.
So I definitely watched the second half of that movie on a lazy morning last week. And I kind of hated myself, but also, like, no regrets,
No, not at all.
All right, next message is from Whistle Red. It says, "Hey, Bat family, would Timothy Dalton have been a great Batman / Bruce Wayne in the 80s or 90s? Also, was Timothy Dalton supposed to make a third Bond movie in 1991 with Elizabeth Hurley as the Bond girl and Anthony Hopkins and Whoopi Goldberg as the villains?" Interesting. So I think Timothy Dalton could have been a great Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard his American accent in The Rocketeer, and I think he could be great. And then as for the Bond movie, I'm going to leave that to you, Brendan.
My memory's a little bit fuzzy. I know he was supposed to do one. And it was meant to have something with either China or Hong Kong, I think. The Anthony Hopkins thing could be a little bit mixed up with another, because he was meant to be, or was signed on for like again, this is really fuzzy, so don't 100% quote me on it, but I'm sure he was originally the villain in Tomorrow Never Dies. And he I can't remember if he did it, if he was actually on set for a short period of time, but then was like, nope, or something else happened, but I don't recall him being involved with that one. But I do remember the Tomorrow Never Dies thing. The Whoopi Goldberg thing, I have no idea. I don't know how that would have worked. Even in the wacky Pierce Brosnan stuff, I couldn't see her playing a villain in a Bond movie. But yeah, I mean, I think he could have pulled off a Batman or Bruce Wayne back in his prime. He still would have made a great Alfred.
True,
and he's a really good chief.
Yeah, he's too busy being the chief. I love Timothy Dalton. I think he's awesome.
I really hope out of all the living Bonds aside from George Lazenby, I'd love him to come and do a convention in Australia. It'd be great to meet him and get a photo and shake his hand.
Yeah. I just want to meet him because he's Neville Sinclair, the Nazi saboteur.
I still want Pierce Brosnan to be Alfred, so.
Well, maybe in the next reboot, as long as he stays healthy.
Won't have to wait long.
Right? All right, next message is from our pal Steven Marshall, who was on the Reign of the Supermen episode. So he says, "Hey guys, I hope all's well. Something I've been wondering is what's happening with the Batgirl and Supergirl movies. I almost wonder if they're both on hiatus, as we haven't heard anything in ages. Secondly, the Joker is Batman's main villain, but who would you say definitely holds the number 2 spot? Lastly, would you be interested in HBO Max Brandon Routh Superman series? There have been rumors about it as either a limited series or a low-budget film. Thanks again. All the best, Steven." Hey, Steven. Thank you, as always, for the message. Always with the Superman questions on our Batman show. But we love you. It's all good. Okay, so Batgirl and Supergirl. I have been doubtful of those movies ever since they were announced. Mm-hmm. So I'm not shocked we haven't heard anything. And because I just said that out loud, that means we'll hear something tomorrow. You're welcome. But no, like when those were announced, I was like, really? Okay, we'll see. And, I've had Mark Hughes on the show. He insisted that they were both priorities for the studio. But yeah, we've heard nothing. I think of the two, Batgirl seems more likely just because at least we know Christina Hodson is supposedly helping write it. But she's just moved on to The Flash. So does that mean she's moved away from Batgirl? So yeah, I'll be shocked if those happen anytime soon. I just feel like the studio has bigger priorities and those are not them. Brendan, any thoughts?
It would make sense with Batgirl to wait and see where this new Batman franchise goes, because it wouldn't make sense if you're launching a new Batman franchise to have a Batgirl in a separate continuity.
Right. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
I think it would be a wait and see, and if they can expand the the world of Batman to make a Batman extended cinematic universe, which we've talked about on here many a times before. I think the safe bet would be just wait and see where this goes, and if it works and you can bring the character in to that world, I'd probably do it that way.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Who do you think is Batman's number 2 villain?
That's a hard one. My first instinct is to say Two-Face.
Is that because it's number 2?
No, actually, no, it wasn't. But I mean, if you're using the Batman 66 rules, it's the Penguin.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Even it's so hard. Like you could potentially say Raz. I don't know. My gut instinct is to say Two-Face.
Okay, I think that's a fair answer. The good thing is I don't think there's a wrong answer. And see, my answer is Catwoman. But I know there are fans who go, oh, well, I don't count her as a villain. So
yeah, I kind of don't. Like, I don't anymore.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I think traditionally speaking, it would be Catwoman because for the most part, she's been a villain, or at least villainess. But yeah, like if we're not counting Catwoman, yeah, Two-Face is a good answer. The Penguin makes sense, and part of me also wants to say maybe Ra's, at least from a comic standpoint.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then a Brandon Routh Superman series, hell yeah, like I'd be all for it.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen, but I'm here for it, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. All right, next message is from Tom Kenny. It says, "Hey, Bat guys, I've got to ask, is that bleep that when you call Brendan, is it or I always thought it was but now I'm not sure. Now I think it's so is Brendan or a Please clarify. Thank you. Best hype man ever."
You've just added in a lot of editing for yourself in this show, my friend.
So to answer your question, Tom,
you're going to say both.
Brendan is definitely a I hope that helps. All right, next message is from...
What has this show become? Oh my God.
It's somehow your fault. Next email's from Pastor Jasmine. It says, "Hey guys, would Robert De Niro have been a great Batman if Martin Scorsese had directed a Batman movie?" I have a hard time seeing De Niro as a Batman, even in his younger days.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
I mean, he's a great actor, so, you know, I'd certainly would have given him the benefit of the doubt, but yeah, I just had a hard time seeing it. I think in his younger days, he would have been an amazing Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
But Batman, I have a harder time seeing that. All right, next message from Tyler Gardner. It says, "Hey guys, I just listened to the Reign of the Superman episode, and the question was raised that if someone had only watched the movie and not read the comics, would there be a mystery to them about which one is Clark Kent? As someone who's only watched the movie and not read the arc, for me, I did not think any of them were Clark. The movie pushed that cyborg Superman was Clark, but it seemed too forced that as a viewer, I figured there was no way that it was him. The only other one that it may have been was the Eradicator, but we didn't spend enough time focusing on the character to make him a viable option. It was more about finding out how Clark was going to come back and what would he do to these imposters. I still enjoyed the movie, and I watched it back-to-back with The Death of Superman, which I think enhanced both movies. Anyways, no question. I just wanted to comment from my perspective. Keep up the great content, TG." Thanks, Tyler. And yeah, that's interesting to know. And I will say after that episode, I definitely did buy the Blu-ray that has the two movies squished together into one long movie. Because why not?
Yeah. Put it on the shelf.
You know, why the hell not? Steven told me it has 10 seconds of new footage, and that was enough for me.
That was enough, yeah.
All right, this message is from Weston Craig. It says, "Hey guys, a couple episodes ago, you reviewed the Batman Beyond episode Earth Mover and mentioned that you thought it would scare children. I remember when that episode came out. I was 4 years old, and I absolutely loved watching reruns Yeah, of Batman the Animated Series, and naturally I started watching Batman Beyond. This episode terrified me so much that I stopped watching Batman Beyond. I think there were probably a lot of other kids my age who also stopped watching because of this episode. So, there's our episode. Earth Mover indeed was scary AF.
Well, I wanted to stop watching after the pilot, but you're making me carry on.
Hey. All right, this question is from Tommy Sanders. It says, "Greetings, Bat Family. As a Boston Celtics fan, I always wanted to ask, was the penguin an influence on the Boston Celtics logo, or is that supposed to be the penguin in the Boston Celtics logo?" Thanks, Tommy. Now I've got to pull up the Boston Celtics logo because the one I'm picturing doesn't have anything that looks like the penguin, so I don't know what you're talking about. No, I was picturing the right one. Oh, okay. He's a little more penguin-y than I remembered, but no, he's a leprechaun.
I always thought it was just a leprechaun.
He's a leprechaun, but number one, I am proud of myself that when I pictured the Celtics logo, I was actually right, which for me is a big accomplishment. And number two, yes, his face is a little more penguin-y, but no, he's a leprechaun, not a penguin.
To be sure.
All right, and then here we go. This is from The Objective Geek. Chris. He says, "Hey guys, this is Chris, aka The Objective Geek. I have a couple questions. Number one, I don't really care about continuity when it comes to superheroes because they've been around for 80 plus years with different creators and interpretations that I think each fan should just create their own continuity in their head with the stories that they love or parts of them. So how would your Batman story unfold? What would the origin be? How would it end-ish? And what stories are vital in the middle and which major ones would you leave out? For me, it would start with Batman Year One, include Mask of the Phantasm, The Long Halloween, Dark Victory, The Killing Joke, the Scott Snyder run, the Tom King run, Batman Beyond, but no The Dark Knight Returns." And then this is a question perhaps just for Jamie. "I've been rewatching Scrubs for the 6th time, and I realized John C. McGinley with his curly hair, villainous smile, and delightful intensity reminds me of the Joker, specifically the Brian Bolland version. How do you think he would have done? Also, do you have a favorite Cox rant or Scrubs episode? For me, a Cox rant on renaming the NAACP and the episode My Lunch where he accidentally kills 3 patients. Sorry for the long email and keep up the amazing work." Is Jamie a big Scrubs fan? Is that why that's for him?
I think so.
Huh. I don't think
He
I've
has
ever
mentioned.
heard him.
I'm sure he has mentioned on here before that I remember him talking about it.
Huh. I feel like I've never really heard him talk about Scrubs, but I also don't listen when he talks, so.
And I mean, it's comedy, so you just think that instantly you'd hate it.
Yeah, he hates anything funny.
Exactly.
So your Batman continuity, Brendan.
That's actually a really hard question off
it
the
is.
top of your head.
That's a lot of thinking.
That would actually make a really good episode.
You're right. That's true. That's a good idea.
I mean, the answer off the top of my head would be start with Mask of the Phantasm and then just do the Batman Adventures.
Well, there you go. That's easy. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I would go with original Batman origin, and then original Robin origin, and then the stories in the middle. I The Long Halloween for sure. I wouldn't put Killing Joke in there just because there's such an ambiguity to what's true and what's not. I feel like that just muddies up the continuity more than anything. But yeah, and then classic stories in between. I don't know. You're right. It's a lot to think about. As far as the way it would end, I would not end it at Batman Beyond because, as I've said in the past, is I don't like lonely and bitter Bruce Wayne sitting by himself waiting to die. I'd much rather have an ending closer to The Dark Knight Rises, but far later in Batman's career where he gets to retire in a happier way.
I don't know if I'd want to have an ending.
Well, there's that too, but if Just answering the question.
But that would make an interesting episode.
I agree.
Pencil it down.
Huh?
Pencil it down.
Help me remember these. And then I love John C. McGinley. I've always thought he was great. So I would say, yeah, I think he could have been a great Joker at a certain point. I'm not a Scrubs enthusiast, so I can't really help you with the rest of your questions.
No, I'm not sure either. Like, I do like the show, but I haven't watched it for a while.
All right, cool. All right, one last one, then we're out of here. This is from Mark Bickford. It says, hey guys, I loved Birds of Prey. I don't know why more people aren't seeing it. Did you stay until the end of the credits? I'm pretty sure that the surprise there is an Easter egg for viewers I'm pretty sure that the little surprise there is an Easter egg for viewers of the DC Universe shows. Did you catch that? I've heard that at one showing fans were angry because they had no idea what the punchline was. What did you think? Also, I saw the top of the trending movies list on DCU has Batman and Harley Quinn and Suicide Squad Hell to Pay. Jamie, is this a sign of civilization falling apart? Thanks for the great podcast, Mark. So like the little thing at the end of the credits, I did not connect that with the Harley Quinn show at all. Brendan, did you?
I didn't until I heard somebody else talk about that a couple of days ago. And I mean, yeah, it is kind of that very, did you know the Batman, and then it kind of ends. That was lost on me. I just thought it was like, I thought it was literally, she was like pretending to give us a secret about Batman and then it gets cut off. It could be column A, column B. I'm not too sure. But... yeah, so I missed that. All right. And then I think the trending movies, I think that's just DCU going, hey, there's a Harley Quinn movie in theaters. Watch these. I think that's all it is. All right, well, that's good for now. We still have more emails left, so I'm glad we got some done, because then we'll do the rest on the next episode. We're slowly catching up. But guess what? I got to take a shower and go to work. Fair enough. I'm gonna go to bed. You do that. I'll do this. Everybody's happy. Because it's 25 minutes away from Saturday for me. All right. Well, happy weekend to you. Happy Friday to you. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day, Brendan. There's no way I would rather spend it. No. Thank you, lover. Than with you and an ocean between us, as most tragic romances are. Yeah. All right. Tell our friends where to find you. You can find me on Twitter at Loey007. Perfect. And I already told you where to find us. So there you go. We're going to wrap up this show, our very first look at Battinson. Oh my God, it happened. And we're excited to see more. So thank you as always for joining us or downloading the show. Please do subscribe to the show. Leave us a review and tell all your friends about me. Visit holybatcast.com and find Holy BatCast on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Yeah, that's it. And if you have any messages for the Wayne Manor mailbox, you can send those to holybatcast@rf4rm.com. So on behalf of Brendan, I've been Andy. This has been Holy BatCast. We will see you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Holy BatCast is brought to you by real fans for real movies. Remember, the thoughts and opinions shared by the participants are theirs and theirs alone, and do not represent the companies or organizations they happen to work for.